All right, so we got Pluto and we got Mercury direct. Basically, we're gonna have Pluto going direct tomorrow. We already have Mercury went direct, so of course this is gonna basically be meaning towards the retrogrades that pretty much that we had that correspondence with. So we had that few weeks of retrograde when it comes to when it started in Libra, then it made its way in Virgo. Then now we got Virgo and Mercury. Where's exalted at? So you're gonna be very direct when it comes to your way of thinking, communicating, of course, over analyzing about things. AKA you're gonna be very direct when it comes to your ways of organizing, structuring, getting serious, getting practical, and of course, getting down to earth. And now with Pluto in Capricorn, aka your power, your control, your transformations, and of course areas and locations where you should pretty much be doing that where you're gonna be going through a transformational reassurance or transformational generational reassurance when it comes to your shadows and things that you want to talk about in areas and location where you pretty much need to go ahead and of course transform your status, transform your career, transform your goals, transform your outlook, and of course transform the way you do things and conduct yourself, and of course the way you present yourself when it comes to your professionalism. Now when it comes to these areas and locations, these areas and locations are going to be the areas and locations where you pretty much need to go ahead and of course don't beat around the bush, don't play games. When it's in retrograde, that's the time to pretty much go back, sit back outside, of course, be on the outside looking in. See areas and locations where you pretty much need to go ahead and, of course, reconstruct these things, get organized, get situated, make sure everything is pretty much going. Let's make sure everything is pretty much reassured. Make sure everything is constructed. Make sure everything is pretty much getting down south, and of course make sure that whatever you're going through, and of course whatever phase or whatever areas and locations that you got these retrogrades hitting your charts, you need to go ahead and of course see how these things are helping you or hurting you, and that's going to be the correspondence that you need to pretty much be moving forward when it comes to your way of getting serious and of course going direct towards these areas and locations. Also, in this circumstance situation, put yourself into the areas and put yourself into the shoes and the areas and locations of being on the outside looking in. Pretty much sit back, don't think, don't feel, don't react. Just be naked when it comes to these experiences. So you can pretty much have a strong outlook and of course a strong input ready to pretty much go ahead and of course utilize that flame to pretty much put yourself into that area and location where you can go ahead and of course separate, destroy, and of course get out of that dirty correspondence. Which means you ever put yourself into a situation of pretty much getting stagnated, and of course held down into something, and of course you was held down there for too long. But of course, when you stop for a second, go inside yourself, then you pretty much break out of that shit, go Hulk mode. That's pretty much how it plays. Yeah, so with Mercury and Virgo retrograde, I mean direct, and of course Pluto and Capricorn direct, we're gonna basically be very direct when it comes to taking actions and thinking and communicating, of course, analyzing our routines and how we relate towards others and of course the world. Now we're gonna do a quick rundown when it comes to Mercury and Virgo in their charts. Now, if you got Mercury and Virgo in your first house, this is pretty much having a direct way to have many varieties of thinking, communicating, and analyzing, of course, being direct when it comes to your work, health, routines, and of course, what you personally got going on, how you personally conduct yourself, of course, how you personally can be a service towards helping others, and of course, personally getting your personal life and of course your personal correspondence intact and of course in order. Now, if you got Mercury and Virgo in your second house, this is going to pretty much be a direct way when it comes to having many varieties of thinking, communicating, analyzing, of course, sharing, and of course, putting yourself into a circumstance situation of what you have to offer, what you value, appreciate, of course, how those values can pretty much be a service towards others, helping others, and of course, putting yourself into a circumstance situation of pretty much working on something or working on a gift or a talent or dealing with money, resources, and of course your material, and of course how you gain comfortability, safety, security, and of course within your life. Now, if you got this in your first house, you're gonna have power by default. Now, if you got this in your second house, you're gonna have the gift. Now, if you got this in your pretty much your third house, you're gonna be placed into a circumstance situation, pretty much going through a learning aspect because it's a square here. Now, if you got Mercury and Virgo in your third house, you are going to be direct when it comes to learning about many variety ways of thinking, communicating, analyzing, of course, being down to earth and practical when it comes to sharing ideas, communicating, of course, developing, of course, being service account, and of course, open towards helping your siblings, your neighbors, your friends who you grew up with, and of course, the people, places, and things within your environment, and of course, your community. Now, if you got this in your fourth house, you're going to be placed into a circumstance situation of being Gemini ascendant. So you're going to have opportunities. This is basically pretty much having opportunities to be direct when it comes to your way of thinking, communicating, analyzing, and having your own private way of thinking, communicating, analyzing about home, family, structure, and of course how you can be service, kind, and of course help a helping individual when it comes to analyzing, of course, communicating and sharing ideas dealing with home, family, and of course privacy. Now, if you got this in your fifth house, this is going to be pretty much a direct way of thinking, communicating, analyzing, and of course, being service and kind and generous towards helping others when it comes to expressing your creativity, your talents, your gifts, your love affairs, and of course, what you do when it comes to your hobbies, how you express yourself, and how you bring entertainment, fun, enjoyment, and how you can pretty much bring your childlike natures or utilize your children to pretty much get one up when it comes to expressing yourself and putting yourself out there. Yeah, and also if you have Mercury and Virgo direct, it's gonna be a direct way of thinking and communicating, of course, analyzing and sharing ideas or overthinking about your work health and routines and be having a direct way and of course a direct approach towards going after it. And of course it's gonna pretty much be comfortable on home here. So you're gonna be very direct when it comes to thinking and communicating, of course, analyzing about your work health and routines and what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. And how these correspondence is gonna pretty much play out through the attributes within your life. Now, if you have Mercury and Virgo in your seventh house, this is a direct way when it comes to thinking, communicating, analyzing, of course, sharing ideas, and of course, bringing compromisations and of course, relatabilities and relationships when it comes to your partners, your relationships, of course, your romance. Also, this house kind of like falls in Virgo. So this means you may basically be carrying the world on your shoulders when it comes to your ways of relating and helping others, and of course, being open and hearted out there towards others. But try to create some balance and you'll be all right. Now, if you got this in your eighth house, you're gonna be very direct when it comes to analyzing deeply, thinking deeply, and of course overthinking, and of course communicating and sharing deep ideas, and of course deeper ways of pretty much doing research and being behind the scenes when it comes to your private seeds, your agendas, your purposes, your desires, your intent, and of course your willpower, and of course your angles of asserting yourself, aka having a deep, dark mind about your way of being open, of course service, and of course being out there and generous towards other people. Now, if you got this in your ninth house, you're gonna have a direct way of pretty much thinking, communicating, of course, analyzing your beliefs, what you believe in, your theories, your educations, your experiences, and how you learn. For me, that's what you're gonna be pretty much being direct when it comes to your way of communicating about these things. Now, if you got this in your tenth house, you're going to be very direct when it comes to thinking, communicating, analyzing about your status, your reputations, your responsibilities, your duties, your goals, and your reality, and of course, how you are seen and what you're known for in the world. That's how you're going to pretty much come across when it comes to that perspective. Now, if you got Mercury and Virgo in your 11th house, you're going to have a direct way of thinking, communicating, analyzing, sharing ideas when it comes to your associations, how you can help your friends, your associations, your groups, and of course, your organizations, your rings, your groups, your occult, your interactions with individuals, of course, your way of being open and, of course, out there in the public when it comes to helping the unknown as well. And last but not least, if you have Mercury and Virgo in your 12th house, debilitated here, you're going to have a direct way of thinking, communicating, analyzing about your dreams, your fantasies, your subconscious, your gut feelings, and of course, your gut instincts. That's going to be very direct. And of course, you're going to have a direct way of analyzing, keeping a journal, and analyzing your dreams and your fantasies and your imagination. And of course, putting faith works into these areas and location. And of course, coming up with a way to make these things come down on Earth. Now, Pluto is next. Now, Pluto and Capricorn direct. Now, the area where you have Pluto at is going to be the area where you take power and control and, of course, transform. Down the house that you got Capricorn at is going to be the house where it's comfortable. And, of course, it's going to be the house where it's worth need to pretty much be needing transformation in that area. So, if you ain't transforming that area, expect to be transformed by someone or something or a situation that's going to pretty much correspond towards you getting transformed in that situation. Now, we're going to start it off with your first house. You have Pluto and Capricorn in your first house, what you are pretty much personally known for when it comes to your personal transformations, your personal duties, your personal obligations, your responsibilities, and of course, what you personally got going on when it comes to your status, your career, and of course, your goals, your reputation, of course, what you're known for. That's going to be predicated towards your first house. Now, it's exalted here as well because you are the first house, aka Capricorn, of course. Aries is pretty much in this correspondence. in this location. So of course you're gonna go to the extremes of being very direct when it comes to taking power and control over your personal life and the personal people, places, and things that you have when it comes to your status and reputation. You need to go ahead and of course be direct when it comes to taking power and control over that area and location, and of course get up off your boat. Now, if you got this in your second house, you are going to pretty much be very direct when it comes to your status, reputations, and goals when it comes to your values, your resources, your possessions, and of course, what you are grounding, utilizing your ground basis. Of course, how you get dirty in the sand, aka what you have brought from down there, aka you ever heard the term we started from the bottom, worked our way up to the top, but you got to start somewhere. So that house where you got the second house being the Capricorn, you are Sagittarius ascendant. So you're going to be very direct when it comes to valuing and taking power control over your values, your money, your resources, and material, and of course, how you gain structure when it comes to your status, your reputation, and of course, what you value and appreciate the most. That's going to be very direct. AKA, you need to go ahead and, of course, take power control over your resources, your material, and of course, what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. That's corresponding when it comes to the areas and locations where you pretty much need to put in some work, plant the seeds. That's going to be your house, how your house of seeds. And also Cancer is exalted in this house as well too. So of course, you need to go ahead and of course take power control over your comfortability, your safety, your security in that area and location. Now, if you got Pluto and Capricorn in your third house, you are Scorpio ascendant. So that means you're going to be very direct when it comes to thinking, communicating, of course, taking full power control over your mind, your way of analyzing, your way of communicating, your way of sharing ideas, and of course, your way of structuring your responsibilities, duties, and obligations when it comes to the house and location of your environment, your surroundings, of course, when it comes to when it comes to what you allow and what you allow to happen in your environment and your surroundings. Now, if you got Pluto and Capricorn in your fourth house, it's pretty much detriment here. I don't really like being here, but you're gonna be very direct when it comes to taking power control of your home, your family, your privacy, or transforming things that's going on in your home, your family, your privacy, aka being the boss, and of course setting the goals, setting the intentions, and of course letting it be known that if you want to be in this house, this is how things. Now, if you got Pluto and Capricorn in your fifth house, you need to go ahead and, of course, take full power and control and be very direct when it comes to expressing yourself, when it comes to what you praise, what you bring fun, entertainment, and of course, enjoyment, and of course, aka having the freedom to pretty much be yourself. And when it comes to your romance, your love affairs, of course, your childlike natures, or transforming, of course, taking power and control of your children and the way your inner child got going on in that area and location, aka be yourself, express yourself, have some fun, have some entertainment, have some enjoyment. Don't pretty much put yourself into a circumstance situation of subject of keeping yourself hidden, and of course being feeling guilty about being a child or expressing your childlike natures. Go ahead and take power control over that for me. Things that bring fun, entertainment, enjoyment, and of course areas and locations where you can be free and do what you want to do. You need to go ahead and take power control over that. Now, if you got Pluto and Capricorn in your sixth house, you'll be placed into a circumstance situation of being very direct when it comes to your work, your health, your routines, your eating habits, your way of how you construct yourself when it comes to your medicines, when it comes to your maternal, when it comes to your routines, what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. You need to take power control over that. You take power control over your health, take power control over that area and location, you'll be happy. You got Pluto and Capricorn in your seventh house. You need to come up with a new way of pretty much taking full power control and be very direct when it comes to your relationships and who you relate with. Is this person, place, a thing that you're relating with helping your status or hurting your status? That's what's pretty much what it comes when it comes boiled down to when it comes to that serious location, area, and location, how it's going to conduct yourself. And of course, Capricorn's exalts in this house. So that means you need to come into the conclusions of, is this helping you or hurting you, Cancer ascendant? Now, if you got Pluto and Capricorn in your eighth house, you're a Gemini ascendant. So you're going to be very direct when it comes to your desires, your passions, your motivations, your intent. What wakes you up out of bed, and of course, taking full power control over your sexual urges, and of course, your sexual desires, and how you sexually transform things in your life when it comes to bringing two energies together, or when it comes to bringing your eighth house, aka what you got going on down there, out of the pants, and of course, unzipping the things and getting personal. Now, also, is the people, places, and things in your eighth house, are they helping you or are they hurting you? This is gonna be a circumstance situation that you gotta pretty much come to the conclusions of. Okay, should I ring around the rosy one more time? AKA today is Friday. Pluto and Capricorn go direct Saturday tomorrow, and of course, should I do the ring around the rosy? But Pluto and Capricorn direct is gonna pretty much place the shadow, place the information, place the behind the scenes of what you pretty much got going on when it comes to your desires, your motives, your intent, and your willpower, and of course how you construct yourself and how you should pretty much take actions and of course take heed in that area and location. Now, boom, you got Pluto and Capricorn in your ninth house. You're gonna be placed into a circumstance situation of being very direct when it comes to taking power and control over your beliefs, over spiritualities, your religions, and your legions, or pretty much what you got going on when it comes to your mechanisms, and of course that area and location to deal with your education, yeah, how you learn, yeah, so that's transforming, of course, coming up with a new way of pretty much being direct when it comes to your beliefs, your expansions, your growth, and of course your meanings, your reasons, your purposes, of course, having a journey and faith and belief in that area and location of your ninth house. Now, if you got Pluto and Capricorn, your 10th house is home here, is comfortable here. So you're going to be comfortable and direct when it comes to initiating the ways on how to think and be practical when it comes to your status, your career, your goals, of course, taking your responsibilities and transforming it for better or for worse. And of course, that's going to be your status, what you're going to be known for, how you're going to exalt yourself, how you're going to go to extremes. And that's what you're pretty much going to be taking full power control over when it comes to that correspondence. Also, you could pretty much be developing some secret enemies, being that Pluto is in Capricorn right now. You could be developing some secret enemies when it comes to your 10th house. And if you got this in your ninth house, you're going to be developing secret enemies when it comes to your spirituality, your meanings, your purposes, your reasons. Got in your eighth house, it's going to be people, places, things that you had deep connections with. Seventh house is going to be your relationships. Sixth house is going to be your co-workers. Fifth house is going to be pretty much your creative endeavors, people, places, and things that's on the video game or just being popular. Fourth house is going to be dealing with home and family. Third house is going to be pretty much dealing with friends and siblings, neighbors, environment, and people, places, things that you share living conditions with. And also your second house would be money, resources, material, someone that you value, appreciate, or share this with. First house, aka people, places, and things within your life. And of course, you could be your worst enemy. Um, what else? 11th house, that can be your groups, your friends, and whoever you associate yourself with. And 12th house could be your subconscious, your dreams, your imagination, your fancies, who you are behind the scenes. And also, if you got Pluto and Capricorn in your 11th house, you're pretty much gonna pretty much you're gonna have a new way to be direct when it comes to initiating ways how to think and be practical and transforming your way of associating and conducting your business, your career, your goals, responsibilities, of course, your dreams, your visions, your goals with people, places, and things that no longer pretty much think like you or react like you or feel like you, aka gonna come to the conclusions of pretty much transforming and getting away from individuals that's no longer have visionary goals or trying to help out the team or try to build with the team or come together with the teams. People, places, and things is pretty much just looking for a handout. You're going to transform that area and location. Last but not least, you got Pluto and Capricorn in your 12th house. This is coming up with a new way to pretty much be direct when it comes to initiate new ways on how to think, be practical when it comes to your status, your reputation, your goals, secret ambitions, secret passions, secret desires, secret intent, secret willpower. And of course, you're going to be pretty much going through a circumstance situation, pretty much being very secretly direct when it comes to taking care of your responsibilities, your duties, your obligations. And when you make that shit happen, when Pluto go into the Capricorn and when Pluto go into Aquarius, you'll be able to have power control over your personal life. Feel me? Now this is a generational thing, so pretty much you need to utilize his time, these setbacks, these retrogrades, these direct unretrogrades, to pretty much put in the time to work in the energy, and of course don't give up because when these plans go direct, that's time to pretty much get up off your ass and get it.